Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Big Hitters FPL podcast. We hope you enjoyed our brand new intro. Classic music, I love it. But we're going to get on with today's episode, which is looking at game week 23. First things first, we now have Instagram, so go follow us on that at Big Hitters FPL on Instagram, as well as obviously YouTube and Twitter. Another thing is you might have tuned into our live stream on Tuesday. Didn't go very well. I had some technical issues, so sorry about that. We're going to fix them straight after this. And me and Jake will be back for a live stream on Saturday. Fortunately, Ludo can't make it. But we'll do a game week 23 deadline stream on Saturday, so watch out for that. And let's look at some fantasy. Before we look at fantasy, actually, I want to ask you guys, what do you think of some of the VAR decisions of this weekend? Controversial, no?
I think so. Well, I'm going to say the Southampton match. I think the first red card was definitely a red card for Jankowicz.
Poor guy, Premier League debut.
I know.
Yeah.
90 seconds in or something. Yeah, but I don't think Bednarek was a red card.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I know you're looking something from the Arsenal game.
Yep.
To be honest, I didn't really see much contact in the David Luiz incident. I thought that it's a difficult one because it's hard to see if there is contact. And there might be the slightest of contacts. And the problem is, if there's the slightest of contact, then it is a red. But if it is a red, I wouldn't. I can see this decision getting turned around. They're appealing for it, Arsenal, and yeah, the second red is a red. You can't just rush. You can't just rush out of your box just like that.
Bit of an idiotic moment from Leno, but
I do think that the David Luiz was a red card because I think Willian Jose, he had the ball under control, he was clean through on goal. And I think David Luiz just about clipped him on the back. So he made a challenge and he was about to score. So I think that was a red. The only difference with Martial, I think this is pretty much what Alan Shearer said, but Martial didn't have the ball under control and he was already on the way down. So I don't think that was a red.
I think that's incredibly harsh, but it does make for quite a funny read about Bednarek's fantasy total for this week.
I know.
Solid -7.
I think quite a few people captained him as well.
No, I was looking for some funny bad teams who like triple captain Bednarek. Back to Arsenal though. See, I'm an Arsenal fan obviously, so I'm gonna have some bias. But funny enough, the first time I saw it, my reaction was, "That's a red card. That's a penalty. Game over, pretty much." But because for me, it looked like David Luiz had made contact and he'd done it with intent. But I've looked back on it and I can't see the intent or really the contact. And I think there's a rule which is double jeopardy, where if he's gone for the ball, which David Luiz didn't, but if he's gone for the ball, then it can't be both. If it's penalty but not a red, or a red but not a penalty. But isn't that just a stupid rule? Because I was watching their BT commentary afterwards and they were saying how David Luiz nicked him tiniest little bit on his knee and got a red card. But if he'd have slid into him, then he would have got a yellow.
That's a ridiculous rule, I think.
Yeah, I think the referee had pressure to give the red card because, you see a player go down like that, you see perhaps the slightest of contacts. Not sure really. I haven't looked at it enough times to judge, but yeah, again, it's another controversial decision which VAR should be clearing up, and we should not.
That's the point of VAR.
And we should not be having these discussions like this now. If VAR has been introduced, then it's quite frankly, there should be no.
That is literally the purpose of VAR, to cut out these referee errors. Such a joke when you see these. And Che Adams, he scored against United. He was literally, oh God.
I mean, offside's offside. If he's offside by a millimeter, he is offside.
But I swear he even wasn't. I swear he was in line.
Well, I mean,
it's a weird one.
It was a close one.
Yeah, it was a close one. Yeah.
Okay,
Anyways, yeah.
we'll look at some happier topics. We'll look at some fantasy football. So let's bring up the PowerPoint and let's look at our teams. Yeah, lovely PowerPoint. Okay, let's go. Oh yeah, also, as you can see in the top left corner there, we have a private league in FPL. So to join that, the code is 01TOQK. So make sure you join that. That's good fun. Ludo, who's top of the league at the moment?
Top of the league is, I hate to say it, but it is Noah Mitchell.
Hey, that's what you like to hear.
Yeah, I mean,
Only by 1 point.
I mean, it's just
close, yeah.
it's just started, so there's obviously going to be lots of turnarounds and stuff. Look, it's looking like a really fun league to enter. So make sure you do if you aren't already in it.
Yeah. Okay, so let's look at Jake's game week 22.
Yeah, so went pretty well. So it's going to be 25 points above the average because Cash will come off my bench for Fana. I guess the only bad thing is my captain choice. I picked the second worst player in my whole team to have captained. Only 2 players blank, and I had to pick Salah. So not great. I mean, I had it on. I brought Salah in this week, especially for Brighton, and I had my captaincy on Gundogan, so he would have got 16 points, and had Sterling, who also got 8 points, I think. So I would have got 85 or something. But anyway, not too bad. Fernandez, hopefully, is back in form. Because he got a goal and 2 assists and all 3 bonus, I think, and a clean sheet.
Yeah.
Maddison 2 assists and 2 bonus, and then Souček with a goal and 2 bonus. So yeah, you never really know with Souček. I always like to play him, but yeah, it's tough to know what to do with him. And then my strikers, Watkins with a goal and Bamford with an assist, both doing all right, I think. Yeah, and Guaita, not a great decision to bring him in this week. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, good week. And Ludo?
Quite a solid week on the whole. Nobody blanked except my captain, which is disappointing. But yeah, other than that, I think it's the first time this season that almost everybody has performed. Quite happy with that. Fofana obviously out for a long time. I don't really want to replace him right now because I am on a hit already. But as you can see, Rudiger will play tonight, and again, a brace from Rudiger would always be good. But other than that, good front line. I'm very happy with Antonio. He gets loads of chances. Not too clinical, but yeah. Overall, a really good week.
Yeah, it's funny though how nobody blanked except Salah and
Yeah.
Fofana, and yet you end up with 66 points.
Yeah.
I mean, if I hadn't brought in Salah, I would have captained Fernandez. I had him in my team, and that things would have been different. And
yeah. Wait, did you bring
really
Salah
cost
for
you?
Fernandez?
Yeah.
I told you it cost you last week on the bench. You said you had him on the bench against Arsenal. I said it might cost you, which it ended up didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
But then this week, wrong decision.
And then I had the pick of the bunch in terms of my week. Again, only 2 blanks, which was Cresswell and me captain Salah. So yeah, that is another captain blank on my record. Not looking good. I think that's 13 in the 22 game weeks. Not good. Just 2 blanks. Yeah. Leicester coming up clutch. Calvert-Lewin scoring a goal, always nice. Fernandez doing what he does best, scoring penalties. And then my bench is kind of annoying me because I've got Souček on there, obviously, and I've got Digne, who both did better than other people on the pitch, like Salah and Cresswell. Martinez, a weird one, conceded 3 goals, made 6 saves, and got a bonus points, which was weird. The City trio doing me good again. Bamford, very happy with this week. And that is game week 22. Got some hot topics here, which we'll talk about. So let's go back to Zoom. One of those hot topics was Ludo's spotlight. Pretty obvious choice this week, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's Liverpool versus Man City, big game. And I think that, obviously, if Liverpool don't win, then I don't think they're going to win the title. Personally, I think Man City will win the title, but, you know, if they lose against, if Liverpool lose, then I guess their chances are narrowed. But in terms, you know, there are also some good fixtures at the bottom. Burnley versus Brighton. Manchester United versus Everton as well. And I think it will also be interesting to see Spurs versus West Brom. I look forward to seeing Spurs tonight without Kane, because we saw Son struggle without him. And against West Brom, I'm very impressed by Brighton at the moment. They won against Liverpool and Tottenham back to back, I think. And you know, there's some really tight fixtures in there, so it was a hard choice. But obviously, you know, when you see Man City, Liverpool, you can't ignore that.
I think City have only lost one of their last 4 games against Liverpool. So, and they're the team in form at the moment. So, if City do, it looks like they're going to run away with it.
It kind of begs the question, because I'm sure the vast majority of FPL managers have City double or trio, us included. And you see a fixture which is Liverpool away, and you immediately bench them. But is there a case to be made for playing 2 defenders from Man City, playing Sterling against a weak Liverpool team?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's obviously Diaz will come on for Fofana. That's just, I've put him on the bench anyways, because just a bit of mind games, just in case, you know, people are saying, oh yeah, you got 70 points or something like that, but I've got 17 points coming off the bench. But yeah, I think Man City have been the best team in the league defensively and offensively, personally. And they've got some tough fixtures coming up, but they've got like West Ham, Man City, Spurs. But to be honest, I can see them keeping clean sheets, and I think John Stones and Diaz's partnership is very good.
Well, yeah, John Stones not certain to start, but yes.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, they offer both attacking threats, and often end up in the bonus system as well. So yeah.
What was quite interesting was Pep's lineup this game week, where he went for 3 centre backs, went for Laporte, Stones, and Diaz. So maybe that could nail Stones a bit more.
Yeah, possibly. And I think I will be playing Diaz this week against Liverpool, because they have been struggling to score goals recently, and City have been so strong at the back.
Yeah, I mean, possibly, but I don't think they'll be playing 3 at the back personally. This app called LiveScore stated that Laporte was playing as a left back. I'm not sure. Perhaps they opted for somebody who's a big central defender coming up against some, you know, Burnley players, which, you know, people like Ashley Barnes, not sure if he played, but Ben Mee, you know, some really physical players. And they didn't want somebody like Zinchenko, perhaps, you know, going up against them. And I think Laporte offers some security. But also I think that I think that Pep has a bit of pressure of playing Laporte because he's a big signing. Everybody's got high expectations, so he feels the pressure. But I guess competition is good, and at the moment, I think it would be harsh for Stones and Diaz to get dropped. They've been both, together. They've been like a brick wall.
Yeah, just extra on playing five at the back. I don't think that would suit City at all because five at the back is almost a counter-attacking formation, and I think City much rather break down teams sitting in front of them rather than playing on the counter-attack. They have most of the possession, and I don't think playing five at the back would suit them.
Yeah, agreed.
I think if you've got Salah coming down your right wing, I don't think you want to have Laporte. I think you want to have someone like maybe Cancelo switch over to the left.
Yeah.
You'd want someone who can stop Salah and Laporte.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Okay, then I wanted to talk about, I think you touched on them, but the unlikely team who are in form is Brighton, of course. 4 clean sheets in their last 4 games, including clean sheets against Tottenham and Liverpool. Quite a strange one there. Any Brighton defenders on your radar?
I think it's just a matter of form. I don't really think, I think they've been really well organised, but, when they're going to come, I mean, Liverpool have been sloppy, to be honest. And Spurs, without Kane aren't too great. I mean, I hope I'm not speaking too early. But yeah, they've been really solid. But I want to see Brighton play a Man City team. Yeah. So I think it's a bit of a risk putting them in because it's going to be, they could lose their form immediately. But they're on a good start, and I think the relegation battle is going to be fascinating. And to be honest, I can see Sheffield United staying up.
Definitely. I mean, if they've picked up their form recently, and just going back to Brighton, Brighton have got a couple of decent fixtures. They've got
very
Burnley,
good.
Crystal Palace, and West Brom in their next 4. And Tariq Lamptey's due back on the 22nd of Feb. So if he's fit to play then, I think he's a decent option if Brighton keep up their form.
Yeah, exactly.
Personally, if there's one Brighton player that stands out at me, it's actually their goalkeeper.
Yeah, I mean he's very cheap, isn't he? He's 4.4 million, and lots of saves. Even perhaps when he plays a team like Liverpool, Man City, he might not keep a clean sheet, but he will get you save points. So yeah.
And do we want to talk about some upcoming potential double game weeks? Jake, here has got some rumours to tell us.
Not really.
That's man. Go on, Jake.
There's a possibility that there'll be a double game week in game week 24. I don't think it'll be a big one, just a few double games. And then I think it's pretty likely that there'll be one in game week 26 and then a blank in game week 29.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to be a lot of planning.
Especially with no chips.
Yeah, especially with no chips as well. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Obviously, fixture postponements due to COVID have created more double game weeks than usual. But it's always nice to have double game weeks, something different, something more exciting. Yeah.
It's those blank game weeks that are really annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you've got a double game week, there's always a bit of a consequence. Brackets. A big blank game week.
I think Noah, you said that if there's only a couple of games playing in the double game week, in the blank game week, you said 2 games or something.
Yeah.
Then I don't know. It'll be. I think because obviously you can only have 3 players from each team, so I don't think there'll be. As in overall compared to other people, I don't think there'll be that big a consequence because there are only a couple of games. But if there were like 4 or 5 games, then I think there would be.
Well, what it's looking like right now is there's one fixture which will definitely go ahead in game week 29. This is thanks to Ben Krellin on Twitter. Fantasy, he's done all the spreadsheets and everything. And one team that are two teams that are definitely playing is Fulham Leeds, seeing as they've both been knocked out of the FA Cup, so they will both be playing in game week 29. I think that's the only match that's confirmed, but then you've got
West Ham Arsenal are pretty likely.
Yeah, and then you've got a big FA Cup 5th round coming up, which will decide all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's one to look out for. And I guess the final thing before we reveal our teams for this week is captaincy pick.
I mean, there are not too many this week, to be honest, because the two biggies, I guess biggies, Man City and Liverpool clashing together. I think people will have to think twice before captaining Son without Kane. Yeah, and I mean, I think Bruno Fernandes will be the safe pick. But there's some good differentials like Antonio versus Fulham, Nick
Bamford.
Pope versus Brighton, Bamford versus Crystal Palace, Dawson against Fulham. I mean, to be honest, if he scored 2 goals in his last 3 games, I think, if I'm not wrong. And then we've got Rudiger against Sheffield United. So I think there's going to be a large variety of different captain picks, which people are going to pick. So it's going to be interesting how people think, and yeah.
Yeah, like you said, I do think Fernandes is probably the safe option. But like we saw with Salah blanking against Brighton before getting braced against West Ham. So you never know. None of the big players at the moment are currently consistently in form.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think it'll be a tough one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking at Bruno Fernandes and I'm leaning towards him, but I think the major differential for me is Antonio.
Yeah, he's getting so many chances. Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
Okay, then let's reveal our teams with me going first. So this is my team. I've made a 4-hit, which is Pope and Antonio in for Forster and Kane. Not Kane. Yes, Kane. Not Kane. Calvert-Lewin. Yes, Calvert-Lewin and Forster out.
Yeah.
At the moment, I've got 3 players in the Man City Liverpool. I'm very tempted to play Stones, just because I have a feeling that there's a very likely clean sheet for Man City there, but I'm not
100%.
convinced yet. Apart from that, I'm happy. I'm happy with Pope. That should be a 0-0, really, shouldn't it? Brighton.
Yeah.
Burnley. Diaz, Cresswell, Justin, solid back line. Suchek, Salah, Madison, Sterling, Fernandes, captain. Not too bad. And then a very good attack with Bamford and Antonio.
Yeah.
So I think I've got a good team there. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's pretty all right. Just one thing that we all forgot to mention. Noah's night of 0-0s didn't quite go to plan.
Well, there were a lot of red cards. That's what I'm going to say. 4 red cards.
Yeah.
In those 4 matches.
There were more goals per match on that night than there were on the Wednesday.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was very wrong there.
I mean, I guess that 9-0.
Oh yeah, kind of dipped the balance.
Kind of dipped.
Got about that. Yeah. So also I wanted a 0-0 from that West Ham Villa game. That didn't go very well either. But yeah, that's my team. How about Jake's team?
Yeah, so I've not made any transfers this week. I was thinking of bringing Luke Shaw in for Fofana now that he's out for 4 or 5 weeks or something. But I've decided, seeing as it's against Everton, I'm not convinced that United will keep a clean sheet because they're not great at the back. Yeah, so I'm going to hold out on that and probably save my transfer for next week so I can have two, and then I'll probably be on a 4-hit next week, transferring Fabianski out so I can bring Antonio in, seeing as I've already got 3 West Ham players, and then Kane will be leaving at some point while he's injured. Yeah, at the moment I've got captaincy on Fernandes, which I'll probably stick with. And then, yeah, I've also got 3 players from the City-Liverpool match, Gundogan, Stones, and Salah. I think that'll be an interesting one. It's a tough one to call. I've got Maddison in my team as well, and Souček, who you never know. And then up top, Bamford against Crystal Palace and Watkins against Arsenal, which I think are both good options. If I remember correctly, Watkins, he didn't rank against Arsenal. I can't remember. Is that the match he got 3 assists?
Watkins against Arsenal, that was a brace.
A brace, yeah.
Yeah.
A brace and an assist, I think.
Oh, I'm not sure. I don't like to remember that game.
I remember that clearly when can't you remember? I remember having the conversation with Noah where he had scored a brace, but then I was like, I'm gonna transfer him in, and then he keeps on criticizing me how I, when a player does well, bring him in.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
That was a good shout.
Yeah, and he is paying off Watkins, to be honest.
Yeah.
The goal. Yeah, and yeah.
Nice. Nice team, Jake. I'm looking at a bench. It's hurting my eyes, the amount of red on that bench.
Yeah. It's not like I'm gonna need them right now.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
They'll be leaving next week anyway.
Rolled in the transfer, nice. And Ludo.
Yeah. I've got at the moment it automatically has put the armband on Rashford, but I might have some second thoughts. As I said, I might be captaining Antonio. Quite happy with that. 3 at the front. But to be honest, I think that once Kane returns, and I could get Kane and then play 5 in midfield, because I'm bringing Souček, because I just think that Souček keeps on delivering. I mean, for how much is he now? 5.5, is he? Or
something like that.
Yeah. I mean, he is blanking 1 game, but then getting a brace, another, getting an assist. So yeah.
3 goals in his last 3 games.
Yeah, I like that United double up, who've then got Newcastle and West Brom. And I'm going to have Diaz coming off the bench. And I'm looking at Arsenal Leeds. And I'm looking at somebody like Saka. I really want to play Saka because I feel like even Smith Rowe would do the job. I feel like, midfielders against Leeds really have, they're going to be looking at that game and literally they're going to, I mean, the amount of space you find against Leeds, but to be honest, I don't, that could be viewed as a negative, but to be honest, Leeds are really like every time, even if they're playing like a team like Burnley, you're always interested in Leeds playing. I mean, it's fascinating. They really just attack until the 90th minute.
I think Stuart Dallas is actually a brilliant option at the moment. Not that he's keeping many clean sheets, but he's now playing in almost a cam position. Yeah. So he's got lots of opportunities to score, and he's got a good shot, and he'll get clean sheets.
Yeah.
Definitely a good option there. Okay, so that's it for the teams, and that's almost it for the show. Obviously, the big game tonight. Not tonight. There is a big game tonight. Spurs Chelsea predictions.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was a 0-0.
I'm going for 2-0 Chelsea. I think, without Kane, but, to be honest, I think Hudson-Odoi could become a fantasy asset because Tuchel really likes him, and he's literally got so many. He's hit the post. He's assisted Aspilicueta. He looks really threatening, and he does his defensive duties as well. But I'd also be looking at somebody like Marcus Alonso, who might be starting, and he's got a really good record against Tottenham. And I think Timo Werner might break his sort of bad.
I mean, like we said last week, I still think it's too early.
And you say that every week, Ludo. Literally. Oh, Timo Werner's going to break his drought this week.
Nah, I think it's either going to be this week or against Newcastle. So not
this week or next week or
no,
next week or next week or next
not
week.
Not against Sheffield United, but
or next week or next week.
Yeah, or the very next week.
I'm with Jake. I'm going 0-0. And then the other big game this weekend is the City Liverpool. Predictions for that one?
I think City will edge it, probably.
I think it's gonna be a 1-1 draw.
I'm going for a bit more than a City edge. I'm going for a City thrash. I'm going for a 3-0.
Yeah, I mean, I think not last time, but the time before, City beat Liverpool 4-0.
Oh, yeah.
Can I just say,
that's a crazy game.
Mark my words, but Klopp will get sacked and Steven Gerrard will replace him.
No, not next week.
It's just written all. It's written all over the place.
I have to disagree with you on that one.
Liverpool again.
Big statement.
Okay, then. So that's the end of the show. We've got some good fixtures coming up this weekend. We've got Villa Arsenal. This is on Saturday. Villa Arsenal, Burnley Brighton, Newcastle Southampton, Fulham West Ham, United Everton, Spurs West Brom, Wolves Leicester, Liverpool City, Sheffield United, Chelsea, and Leeds Palace. The deadline is, of course, 10:30. Me and Jake will be up nice and early for a deadline stream starting at 10. So make sure you subscribe to the YouTube page so you don't miss out on that. Follow us on Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram as well. That's it for us. That's the end of the Gameweeks23 episode. Bye-bye.